Yo guys, what up? It's Alperin back here with another video, my first video and the first video of our brand new series, 2K and NBA, where I play 2K and we talk NBA. So today's video, we're going to be talking about the upcoming NBA season, particularly the status on Victor Wembanyama and how he's going to affect the NBA both this season and next season, as well as talking Scoot Henderson and the 2023 NBA draft, I guess. Anyway, to get into it, I just want to start by saying I'm a Rockets fan. I don't know if you can tell from the fit and the fact that I played for the Rockets in my career, but we are in the stakes for Victor and Scoot. And we're in the stakes for Victor and Scoot, and so I just want to start off by saying I'm going to sound really critical of Victor Wembanyama, but don't get me wrong, I'd love him on the Rockets. I'd love Scoot on the Rockets, but honestly, I need to keep an impartial view, and I just want you guys to keep that in mind. I do want Victor on the Rockets. Anyway, to get started, I'd just like to mention how I think Victor Wembanyama is 100% overhyped. He's not what people are making out him to be. Steph Curry saying he's like the 2K creator player. That's just mad to me. He's good, but I'd like to compare it to like the Bol hype. Bol was super hyped coming into the NBA. He's that 7'4", could do it all kind of guy. But he came into the NBA and that wasn't him. Now he's like that mid-tier role player. Now I'm not saying Victor Wembanyama is going to be to that scale, but like Victor Wembanyama, we can't come in with expecting him to make the Hall of Fame. Like I saw Woj earlier. He said, most of the time you can't have expectations for people to make the Hall of Fame, but like Victor Wembanyama, you can. I don't think you can. Like, yeah, Victor Wembanyama is good, but it's too early to tell. He's playing in a French league. Like, how many guys can you say are all NBA and playing in the French league? Like, scoring 30 points in the Eurobasket versus 30 points in the NBA is similar, but like 30 points in some random French league compared to the NBA, it's really different. Like, it's not the same thing, but don't get me wrong, I love Victor Wembanyama. I think he's a great player. He's got that Rudy Gobert kind of paint defense. Maybe it's a French thing, I don't know. But he's also got that like Kevin Durant movement and dribbling and shooting. The only problem with him, and we've seen it with Chet, is the body frame. You can't have that small, skinny body frame in the NBA anymore, because it's a physical league. Like, when you can't say you can have Victor Wembanyama going out there up against someone who's really physical, like Joel Embiid in that post. So Victor Wembanyama doesn't have the weight to get behind that. But all in all, I think he is going to be a really good NBA player, and he showed that through his. That should not have gone in. Through his matchup with Scoot Henderson, which was a great game. He turned up in the third and fourth quarter. To be fair to him, he did look good. But I just do think the hype's too real. He's definitely the number one pick. I'd take him over Scoot. But yeah, I don't think he's him. Now next, I'd just like to talk about like where I'd like to see Victor Wembanyama. Because honestly, you want him going to somewhere where I think you're not too far away from competing, because he's like that championship piece. He's like when the Warriors added Kevin Durant to the roster. So you want a team that's young and in that lottery, and like also, how do I say this? Like, want them to be young, but you also want them to be good. So you kind of want them to be a team that's chosen to tank. So I think someone like, personally, the Rockets, obviously, because like we're a young team. Big man like Victor Wembanyama, you put him, Alperin, Jabari, Jalen Green, and then who else? Either Kevin Porter Jr. or Josh Christopher on the bench. The other one on the bench, and then off the bench you also still have like 5-hour like Tari Eason, who this preseason has been absolutely killing. But
and the basket by MP. Man, some of the dunks we see from Green, the throwdowns are just insane.
Sorry, got confused there. Was it dunk? But the only problem is he doesn't really fit with the progression of everyone else. Because we already have good big men in Jabari, Alperin, and Tyrese, and so you can't have four good big men. You could probably have three and then run them all as starters, with moving one to the small forward, probably Jabari. But it's not sustainable to have that many big men on the roster. Another place that I would like to see him is in the Pacers, because I think Jabari Smith and Tyrese Halliburton would be a great dynamic duo for years to come. Like that's a backcourt front court matchup of the future, because they've also got other pieces around him like Chris Duarte who are going to progress and grow with him. Even though Chris Duarte will be 26 going into that season, I think. It'd still be a great fit for the Pacers, and they're committed to that rebuild, so it'd be nice to see them to get something out of it. But one team I really don't want to see him go to is the Kings, because we've seen them managing talent in the past. They're not particularly great at it. But I'm concerned that the Kings are going to make a Kings move, and even with all their current talent on the roster with DeMontis and De'Aaron Fox, that they're going to decide to still tank, even though that they're a borderline playoff team. Like, it's a scary prospect. But I think Victor Wembanyama is going to be a problem. The only thing that I'm concerned about is how he's going to affect the NBA, not only after he comes in. Because after he comes in, he's obviously going to change the dynamic of the NBA and how it's played. But like, before he comes in, there's been a lot of discussion about tanking, and I've heard people say, oh, if you're below 500 at the All-Star break, you got to start tanking for Victor Wembanyama to join that lottery. But the only risk is, if you fall past 2 and you miss out on Wemby and Scoot, you're kind of in the mud, high-key, even though you've got like the Thompson twins and a couple other guys. You're really not getting that quality player like them, and you really sacrificed a play-in spot or a playoff spot just to go for these guys, and you missed out on everything, and now you've lucked out, you've lost a year, and ultimately you've lost maybe the trust of your players. I don't know how to put that, but your players would be just like, so the Kings decided to tank. De'Aaron Fox is obviously going to be pretty frustrated, so he's gonna be a literal game changer. As on teams that I think should probably tank, I think obviously all the teams in a rebuild. But if you're hanging around that like 9-10 playoff spot, play-in spot, it probably would be a great idea to consider it. Because if you're in the play-in, realistically, you're not going deep into the playoffs, particularly if you're in a 9-10 spot where only one of you's getting through. And then even then, you're going to come in as the 8th seed and go against, in the Western Conference, a blazing Warriors team, I suppose, at the moment. Or in the Eastern Conference, you've just got a whole stack of teams that'll be up the top there next season. And either way, you're not looking good. You're not looking good. But if you are in that 9-10 playoff spot, you may as well just commit to the tank and at least throw your hat in the ring. Like, realistically, if you're in that spot, you've probably started the tank a bit too late, because you've got the teams like Detroit, OKC, Houston, who else? Spurs, who are going to be up like way below, and they're not going to get penalized by the NBA because they were expected to be down there. Whereas Adam Silver has mentioned that he doesn't want tanking in the NBA just because there's this generational kind of prospect coming in. So you do run the risk of like getting fined or having to forfeit a pick or having something like that happen. But if you are in that 9-10 playoff spot, it is still worth, because realistically, the Thompson twins are still great to have. They'd be like your usual pick 3 to 4. it's just the draft is so top loaded. Like we thought that the Jalen Green, Cade Cunningham draft was top loaded. We thought that the last draft was top loaded, but this draft is really, if you're not up the top in those first two picks, you kind of missed out. So as a Houston fan, I'm kind of nervous because we're going to suck inevitably, even though if Tari Eason is looking like a stud, the Rockets are inevitably going to suck. But if we miss out and we get that third overall pick, we've been stepped so much further behind all of the other rebuilding teams. And it's going to happen to somebody. So if you are one of those teams, so let's say we all miss out, all the OKCs, Spurs, Thunder, Pistons, Magic, say we do all miss out on the first and second overall picks. You've then just got this unfair balance in the NBA, and it feels like you're kind of just beating down on you're just curb stomping like an old person. Like you're stealing from the poor and giving to the rich. Like it's the reverse of Robin Hood. But realistically, you can't fix that problem. That's a problem there's always going to be. It's just, if they mess it up in this draft, just check out them stats, by the way. Looking nice. You know what? I forgot what I was talking about, so I'm going to move on and talk a little bit about the Adelaide 36ers Phoenix game. That, I don't know what that was. Me personally, I'm from Australia. I go to the NBL all the time. I go to a lot of Melbourne United games. I've always been a fan of Robert Franks, who was one of the two guys who tore up for Phoenix. He shot the lights out. And so I've been following Adelaide a little bit recently because Robert Franks is my favorite player on the NBL. But I can't say I was completely shocked by that. The Adelaide 36ers are my pick to win the NBL this season because they've just got so much talent stacked in there. So the fact that the Phoenix Suns probably aren't the best defensive team, and then the fewer drives that these guys just show off in front of the NBA and like the NBA market probably helped their cause and had it in their favor, as well as the fact that it is preseason for the Phoenix Suns and they're not trying their hardest. So I think it's a balance of the two. But don't get me wrong, this Adelaide team is very, very talented. They do have NBA quality guys and a lot of guys who have played in the NBA. Randall, Franks, they've all played in the NBA before. And I guess it was expected that they'd turn up, given they're playing on that NBA stage again. They've been there before, and they want to get back there, so they want to show out. They just want to be that guy, I guess you could say. So when they dropped, I think it was like 70 points between them, I don't think you can be surprised at that. But I think what we can be surprised by is the amount of shambles that the Suns are in after that loss. Like, it's one loss in preseason, and it looks like the Suns are shaken. Like, Devin Booker posting the LeBron meme, or like the picture from his interview, I think spoke a lot about how they're actually shocked by it and they're actually hurt by it. Like, you can't just take it that seriously in preseason. I genuinely think that the thing that spoke to me most about that game, about the Phoenix Suns, was genuinely that one post from Devin Booker on his story.
Well, guys, the NBA markets itself behind its star players, but Commissioner Adam Silver understands what makes the game tick. He said, quote, "This is a team sport and compete at the highest level. All the players have to come together."
So true, Allie. Thank you.
This Cavs team just playing against it now. I know this won't be their full complete roster because there's auto-generated guys and there's been trades. As you can see, Kyrie Irving and Joe Harris are on the Rockets somehow. But this Cavs team this year, they are looking real nice. Like they are a contender. They're a genuine contender. Adding Donovan Mitchell has been a great move for them. I think I was how do I say it, like dubious at first about the trade. I didn't think there was a real winner, so I thought the Cavs gave up a lot of depth and talent to get Donovan Mitchell, and that the Pacers didn't really receive anything useful to them. But I guess now that I can see where the Pacers are going, they're obviously trying to throw their hat, not the Pacers, the Jazz, trying to throw their hat in the Victor Wembanyama ring and the Scoot Henderson ring, which makes complete sense to me. In addition to the fact that the Cavs are now a genuine contender, and I think they could make a conference finals run, particularly depending on how Mobley progresses this year, I guess. Because if Mobley takes that next step, and takes that sophomore LaMelo step, or that big step up to being a genuine NBA power forward, if he can also stretch out his offensive game a bit and just make it a bit stronger, I think he's a great piece for the Cavs to have, and the Cavs will be genuine contenders.
Yeah, just hasn't been able to find his rhythm offensively, and that's having a ripple effect.
See, because he's already, as you can see, he's already got that talent on the defensive side of the ball. He's already knocking that stuff out of bounds. He's having none of that. But, yeah. I think the Cavs have a really nice team. And I think they will go deep this year.
Pass to Christopher.
But I do kind of feel sorry for them, because they've obviously they've had to rebuild themselves up from nothing after LeBron left to go to the Lakers, and after Kyrie left, turned them all down, and then turned Boston down. But now eventually this will turn the Nets down as well. But it's good to see that they've actually got themselves back up to a place where they're in the competition, they're in the running for that chip again. Given the city of Cleveland has got nothing else good in it other than the Cavs.
The Cavs have gotten only 2 of 7 shots to go in the third quarter. Pass to Love.
It's Kevin Love.
It's tipped.
Anyway, in the comments, if there's anyone watching this, I doubt there ever will be, but just drop your 2K builds and suggestions for builds this season, because I'm still looking for a quality rebirth build. I've been thinking about obviously a 6'9", 6'10", ISO kind of build, because I've already built one, but I just haven't started my career on it yet. But
outside Mitchell.
I don't actually know what's good this, I know the badges and what attributes are useful and not, but I don't know actually what builds are good this year. Also, if any of you are running with replica builds, let me know. Replica builds I don't think are it, but if you're running with one, let me know. Let me know how they are. Let me know how they're cool.
Well, part of the game plan was to neutralize the crowd. And guess what? Mission accomplished. And what's been impressive is that it's not been any one player. It's been a collective effort, contributions from everybody.
Pass to Baisley. 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. And another miss by Cleveland.
It's obvious they're becoming...
Personally, I reckon I'm most perplexed by next year's season probably won't actually be Victor Wembanyama.
I think they've got to run.
Well, he'll be one of them, but I think I'm really interested in seeing Chet play next season. Because he's obviously injured at the moment, so he won't play this season. But if he can manage to put some muscle on before his first game, and bulk up a bit and keep eating, as he says he loves to eat, if he can keep eating and put on that muscle, I think he'll be a really interesting prospect to see in the future. And it'd be interesting to see him and Wemby match up on each other. They've both got that slim frame, that good movement. I'd argue Wembanyama, even though he's bigger, has better movement than Chet Holmgren, because I think Chet Holmgren's still really he's got the ball handles and he's got all the moves and stuff, but his moves look like they feel really clunky. Like he looks like he hasn't got that like cognitive side of the ball like Wembanyama has got. Because cognitively, Wembanyama has got all of that skill and all that coordination, whereas I don't think Chet has it to the same level as Victor Wembanyama. Because that's the one thing about Victor Wembanyama, is he's got that 7'4" build, but he's also got that coordination, that motor ability and the cognitive ability to really move and play like a guard. Like a big guard at that. Like he doesn't play like a Jalen Green where he's explosive and athletic, but he plays like a guard. He plays like the Kevin Durant kind of, if Kevin Durant was a guard. He has that Kevin Durant kind of feel to him, whereas that's the one thing I think Chet is lacking. He's lacking that silky smooth.
Pass to Baisley. The three is up. Here's Stevenson. And the rebound paying off as they pick up 2 on the second chance.
Lance Stevenson? He's now running with Cleveland.
All about wanting it. Fantastic effort there, leading to
Look at Ali. 2K really did nerf Ali, and like I know I've made videos on it in the past. Well, not videos, YouTube shorts on it in the past, but 2K's really nerfed alley-oops and like all the fun side of their game.
Houston has gotten 21 points so far from three-point land. They're 7 of 10.
Step back 3. Bang.
Scoring again.
That was a 2. It's a shame.
And he's coming through. I mean, you can see why his teammates.
And what are your thoughts on the badges as well this year? Because I think only silver at the moment, but I have the ability to get gold bully. Even silver bully, they've given it like special animations where you literally can push people out of the way. Like I was playing some ones earlier just with a friend, and we matched up against each other, and he's a 6'2" point guard. He fully got pushed out of the way. Like fully got pushed out of the way in the middle of a game. Like this isn't on like rookie mode or anything. This is Park, so I'm pretty sure it was Superstar. And he has like a 60 strength, but he's just fully got pushed, like, completely gone out of the way. But I do like how 2K has like added the 2K's added like strength back into the game, so it's actually needed to see. Because in 2K20, 21, and 22, I'd made like builds with like no strength. I'd made like a 6H two-way slasher with no strength, because it wasn't really a thing you needed. Like I could play big man defense by just being 6'8". and having a max wingspan, and having a decent enough interior defense. But now they've actually made it so if you don't have that, the bully badge is the key to killing those skinny dudes. Because you can just bully them, literally bully them in the ring.
Well, if you're just tuning in, welcome. We've played about 3.5 minutes into the fourth quarter here. And now
that's game. Good win against the Cavs. I think we're now 12-0 on this season, so. Oh, that's subbing me back in to get 50. W coach. Anyway, if you've liked this video, give it a like. Part of a new series I'm going to do where we talk NBA and play a bit of my career until I can get another series or another new video idea going. But it's been good, and hopefully I have more videos coming out soon when there's a bit more content coming out in the NBA. And I'll talk to you later. It's been good. It's been real.
That's how you win on the road.
And that'll wrap it up, folks.
Rejected by Anthony Davis. The stadium is shaking. The fans have never seen anything like this in their lives before.